Long ago, in the heart of Zululand, the great Inkosi, King Mkhabela, ruled his people with wisdom and strength. The Zulu kingdom was vast, its fields fertile, and its warriors mighty. But as much as the people thrived, whispers of danger began to creep through the land. Stories told by the Ingoma, the diviners, spoke of an impending shadow, a drought that would parch the earth, wither the crops, and weaken the mightiest of warriors. However, there was hope. A prophecy foretold that a magical spear, the shining spear of the Inkosi, would emerge to protect the kingdom. This spear, it was said, could summon rain to quench the thirst of the land, ward off evil spirits, and guide its bearer to ultimate victory. But only one worthy of true honor, dressed in the sacred beads of their ancestors, could wield it. The ancestors had woven their spirits into those beads, each one holding a part of their strength, their wisdom, and their love for the land. Without these sacred beads, the spear would remain dormant, its power untapped. King Mkhabela, though powerful, was a humble man who valued his people's well-being above all else. He knew the time had come for him to embark on the journey to find the spear and the sacred beads. His people's survival depended on it. That night, under the light of the full moon, he visited the royal Ingoma. Their hut was filled with the scent of burning herbs, and the sound of drums echoed faintly in the distance. You must travel beyond the mountains, across the river of shadows, and seek the ancestors' beads in the land of forgotten warriors, the oldest diviner whispered. Only then will the spear reveal itself to you. The journey would not be easy, but Mkhabela was determined. He gathered his most trusted warriors, but before they could set out, a strange figure appeared at the edge of the village, cloaked in darkness. The figure spoke of betrayal, a hidden enemy within the kingdom itself, and a future darker than anyone could imagine. Mkhabela's heart grew heavy as the words of the cloaked figure echoed in his mind. Was it a trick, or was there truth in the warning? The figure vanished as swiftly as it appeared, leaving behind only a trail of uncertainty. The king called a meeting with his trusted advisors and warriors, revealing the prophecy of the shining spear and the mission ahead. His people were brave, but the fear of an enemy within their midst gnawed at his soul. Among the warriors was Ntando, a fierce warrior known for his loyalty. He had been at the king's side through many battles, but unknown to Mkhabela, Ntando harbored a deep envy. He coveted the king's power and the glory that came with it. The seeds of betrayal had already taken root within Ntando's heart. He secretly aligned with enemies from beyond the kingdom, planning to strike when the king was at his most vulnerable. As the preparations for the journey continued, Ntando began to sow discord among the warriors, casting doubt on the king's leadership. He whispered that the journey was folly, that the prophecy was merely a tale to inspire hope in desperate times. Why should we chase after legends when we can defend our land with the weapons we have now? He would ask, his voice smooth as the wind. But King Mkhabela remained steadfast. He knew the land would perish without rain, and the power of the shining spear was the only thing that could bring salvation. One evening, while preparing to leave, Mkhabela was approached by his wife, Queen Nomusa, a woman of great wisdom. She had sensed the tension among the warriors and feared that something was amiss. "My king, I have seen shadows in the eyes of those you trust," she warned. "Not all who stand by you walk with pure hearts. The ancestors speak of danger within your own circle." The king's heart sank. Could Ntando, his most trusted warrior, truly be the source of this treachery? He decided to watch and wait, for he knew that confronting Ntando directly could ignite the spark of rebellion too soon. The morning of their departure arrived, and the air was thick with both anticipation and dread. As Mkhabela led his warriors out of the village, he could not shake the feeling that danger was closer than it appeared. The journey to the land of forgotten warriors had begun, but little did they know, a traitor walked among them. The journey was arduous, and the further the group traveled, the more treacherous the path became. The river of shadows lay ahead, its dark waters said to hold the spirits of long-dead warriors. Legend spoke of those who had tried to cross it only to vanish, their spirits consumed by the river's hunger. As they neared the river, the once bold warriors grew uneasy. The sound of the water rushing against rocks seemed to whisper in tongues no one could understand. Mkhabela, though cautious, led with confidence, knowing that this was but one of the many trials he would face to protect his people. But Ntando had other plans. As they set up camp by the river, he approached the warriors in secret, continuing his campaign of doubt. "The king leads us into the jaws of death," he whispered. "We will die here, forgotten, while our families starve at home." Some warriors began to question the king's judgment, their loyalty wavering. Ntando's influence grew, and with each passing hour, the tension thickened like a storm gathering on the horizon. That night, as the warriors slept, Ntando crept away, his heart pounding in his chest. He had made a deal with the spirits of the river, offering them the king in exchange for his own safety and power. The next morning, the river seemed even darker than before. As Mkhabela led his warriors to the water's edge, he sensed something was wrong. The water began to churn violently, and from its depths rose figures as specters of ancient warriors, their eyes hollow, their bodies half submerged in the water. "The river has claimed many lives," one of the spirits rasped, "and now it claims yours." King of the Zulu, Mkhabela, gripping his spear, stood tall. He would not be cowed by these spirits. But before he could act, Ntando stepped forward, revealing his betrayal. "I offered you the king," he shouted. "Take him, and let me pass in peace." Gasps echoed from the warriors as they realized the depth of Ntando's treachery. But the spirits of the river were not easily fooled. "We do not take what is offered in cowardice," they hissed, their ghostly forms surging forward. The betrayal hung in the air like a dark cloud, and the warriors were stunned by Ntando's treachery. The river of shadows churned violently, as if stirred by the spirit's rage. King Mkhabela stood firm, his gaze locked on the river's swirling depths. He raised his hand and addressed the spirits, his voice unwavering. "Spirits of the river, I am Mkhabela, descendant of the great Inkosi. You may claim my life if that is what you seek, but you will not harm my people. I stand before you not as a sacrifice but as a leader who seeks to protect his land." The river's waters calmed slightly, and the spirits paused, as though considering his words. The silence was thick with tension. Then, from the depths of the river, one of the older spirits, a tall figure draped in shadow, stepped forward. His voice was deep, resonating like the tolling of a bell. "You speak with the honor of a true king, but you are surrounded by deceit," the spirit growled, glaring at Ntando. "The ancestors see all, and they have not forgotten your people's covenant. You were chosen to walk this path, but one among you seeks to disrupt the balance." Ntando's face paled, and he fell to his knees. "Please, forgive me, it was not my intent." But before he could finish, the waters surged forward and enveloped him. The river swallowed him whole, and the last thing the warriors saw was Ntando's panicked eyes before he disappeared beneath the surface. The betrayal had been punished, and the river claimed its price. Mkhabela felt the weight of the moment but knew there was no time to dwell on the traitor's fate. The spirits turned their attention back to the king. The old spirit spoke once more, this time with a softer tone. "You have shown honor, King Mkhabela. The shining spear awaits you, but your journey is far from over. Cross this river, and you will find the land of forgotten warriors. There, you must face trials not of strength, but of spirit. Only those who walk in the wisdom of their ancestors can claim the spear." With those words, the spirits sank back into the river, leaving the path clear. The warriors, still shaken by the events, followed their king across the now calm river. Mkhabela felt the presence of the ancestors guiding him, their spirits watching closely. The journey continued, but the shadow of Ntando's betrayal lingered in the air, a reminder that even among friends, danger could strike.
In the heart of the savannah, where the winds who sing stories of the ancients from the village ring. Underneath the baobab, where the wise ones dwell, tales of the lion, the moon, and the gazelle. The rhythm takes us, the beat goes on, bring the night till the break of dawn. Stars above, remember the footsteps of the past, carrying the wisdom so the tales will last. Bass drops heavy, the stories on flow. The spirit of the ancients, let the legend grow. Underneath the moonlight, around the fire's glow, these ancient tales are the seeds we sow. Children, listen closely for the tales you'll hear. Carry the truth that's passed down year by year. Gather round, gather close, let the stories unfold. Whispers of the past and the voices of the old. From the mountains to the rivers, through the forest and the plain, the spirit of Africa lives in every name.